Infrastructure debt transactions are often unlisted and unrated, and they're not publicly available. So finding access to these deals is what we see as the greatest value add in a private infrastructure market. So you need a team who's out there actively finding the deals, talking to the owners of the assets, talking to the treasury teams to find these opportunities. The other key factor is that you have to have really strong credit underwriting facilities in order to assess these deals, because as I said, they're not rated. So you need to assess the credit yourself, you need to review legal documents, structure clauses to make sure that you've got all the protections you need in place to lend to these assets. And finally, those structural clauses you put in are only as good as the monitoring. So you need a team that is going to monitor these clauses on an ongoing basis and make sure that the asset's performing and that you're receiving all the benefits from those protections that were originally written into the loan contract. Infrastructure debt's usually offered through a closed-ended fund. So closed-ended funds have 3 distinct periods. They have a fundraising period, an investment period, and then a repayment period. So the investment period is quite crucial because although debt funds generally don't charge fees until the money is drawn from investors, obviously investors need to manage that money in some way whilst waiting for the money to be drawn. So it might be seen in cash, which obviously at the moment isn't very high yielding. So that can have a kind of drag on the overall return of the asset. So when thinking about funds, you need to think about the manager's speed of deployment and effectively how quickly are they going to draw that money and get it invested. During the repayment period, infrastructure debt offers not only interest, but also obviously the repayment of the loan principal. So it can mean it's very cash flow generative if you're receiving this interest plus principal repayments throughout the term. So again, that's why it can feed very well into a cash flow driven investment strategy. At Schroders, we've designed a fund that we think will work very well for UK pension funds. So it's investing solely in sterling assets, so there's no currency risk involved, and that means it can work well as part of a cash flow driven investment strategy. The fund is targeting assets that will return LIBOR plus 4 to 6%, and the fund term is only 10 years with a weighted average life more of around 5 to 6 years. So we think this is a liquidity profile that will work well for most UK pension funds. And finally, the assets that we're investing in are core UK infrastructure assets. So these are essential assets that should offer returns that are uncorrelated from the economic cycle.